Oh, it's been said a bard's life can often be a hard life, or hill and dale to rove and always move from town to town. And some folk have inquired if ever we grow tired of ranging all around the world and never settling down.
But one should be a little wary of remaining stationary, 'cause comfortable is lovely, but it's not the way we grow. When life starts to unravel, pick up your pack and travel. You'll find a strange serenity in places you don't know. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-too-rat-terry-o-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. You've got no map for showing which direction you are going.
But why start on a journey if you know where it will end?
And once you recognize,
to anticipate surprise, you'll relish every twist and turn that lies around the bend. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-too-rat-terry-o-dee-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. The world has got its demons. There are many reasons why you'd find it harder to be brave than be afraid. But every life could use some danger. Every friend was once a stranger. Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not why ships are made. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-too-rat-terry-o-dee, da-dee, a fwit-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-da-da-lie-da-lie. Adventures waiting further down the road. Let's go! Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-da-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-da-da-lie-da-lie.
Hey everybody! Welcome to Nat 21 Adventures here on a Wednesday night, November 1st. It's not All Hallows Eve. I was going to say it's All Hallows Eve. I got confused. I'm so sorry. I've just got to say, I know most people won't recognize this feeling of stepping back onto a stage that you've been on before and absolutely loved, but our guests hiding in the background will. Just listening to that song and dancing to it, flashbacks, major flashbacks to hosting Gablonia on here and Weird Scouts. And it is such a pleasure to be back tonight on Nat 21 talking about my latest game, Our Woodland Gods. So it's a cozy cultist storytelling game. It's got cozy elements. It's got horror elements. And it's on Kickstarter right now. We'll put a link up somewhere. Yes, we're all dancing. We're all dancing backstage. Yes, I've got to remember. I got to read the chat. I got to look multiple screens, everything. This light in my eyes is a little bit bright. We're going to try and dim that a little bit. But hey, okay, here, hand that over. hand that over. Why not? So, and just for Cubby, I sent a special mission out to grab this from Spirit Halloween, a throwback to this afternoon's crafting show. So he got the little tiny pin. I got the full Satan mask. There you go. But that's not what we're dealing with tonight. We're dealing with our Woodland Gods. So we have actually a playthrough up on YouTube right now. We'll link that later. But we're gonna do the part we didn't show you in YouTube. We're gonna do the character creation and the world creation, the introduction to this game. So I've got some special guests. Let's bring them on in, and we'll talk about the game all together. So there we go. Who we got tonight? We've got Cubby, we've got Ian Lemke, we've got May Hammer, and we've got Mab Just Mab. I think I just introduced everybody, but I think we should let everybody introduce themselves. So I know everybody probably knows Cubby, but we'll start with Cubby and just go around the thing. And I'd like actually this game, everything goes counterclockwise, so we're gonna start with May. We never start with May.
Oh, is she just put food in her mouth?
Put food in her mouth. So May, introduce yourself.
I'm so comfortable. Hi, my name is Hungry. No, I'm kidding. So I'm May Hammer. I am retired burlesque dancer. And I am actually doing character work. So you can see me at Carolina Renaissance Festival as Lady Selena Kit. Cool. And Queen Ashura at Festival of Legends. And there's some other stuff I'm losing track. But yeah, that's me. Also just a nerd.
My girl, little nerd.
All right, over to Ian.
Me. Okay. Hi, my name's Ian Lemke. I'm the owner of Nepenthe Games. I recently did my first Kickstarter last year. I also developed some other games out there too. And happy to be here tonight and make a cultist.
Yes, we're making cultist. All right, Mab.
So I am Mab. I am one of the shipping gnomes and one of the main cast members here at Nat 21 Adventures. And I apparently can never seem to get enough of the airtime here on Twitch. And I'm always looking for more excuses to join just about any game that Robert creates, to be completely honest. Yeah, that's it. I'm awesome. That's it.
Mab, you are awesome.
Yeah, you are awesome.
Yeah.
and Cubby.
I'm Cubby. Hi. Not everybody knows me, but I have managed to weasel my way into like everything that Robert has done on Nat 21. So I definitely get why he feels that way. That's just my Machiavellian machinations. Also, I just want to say for the record that counterclockwise is a very confusing word because it's one and then the other. Counter, you got to think what's counter, what's other. So I avoid confusion and I always say Widdershins.
But not everybody knows Widdershins.
No, it's much less confusing.
Yeah.
If you know the word.
So in the game, it actually says pass the book to the player on your right so that will end up going Widdershins or counterclockwise around the table. Before we start though, Cubby, did you see this?
I did, and I'm so jealous. I'm wearing my stupid devil in.
I love it.
Because what says cozier is better than like Satan, but he's kind of overwhelmed. He's like, oh, I need help. Oh, what's going on, everyone?
All right, so we're gonna talk a little bit about this game. And I know Ian played this game when it was in early playtesting. It's very different now. May and Cubby played this game. They're on the YouTube version of this game. It's a little bit different now because any game I make, we play test and we edit and we do changes up until the day it goes to print. So there will probably be some stuff we do tonight that will be slightly different in the final version. But here we go. This is the game, Our Woodland Gods. I could have sent Mab images, but like she said, we didn't announce this. This was kind of, we sort of knew we were doing it, but we weren't sure it was going to happen tonight. So here's the cover, Our Woodland Gods. It is a cozy cultist storytelling game. it's a lot of words we're throwing together. We're going to break it down. Cozy cultists. It's like in the vein of Animal Crossing or Cult of the Lamb or
Cozy Grove.
Cozy Grove. Thank you. I always forget the name of the island one. Okay. It is or Sea of Stars, which is what I'm playing right now. That's more of a Zelda kind of cozy game. It has those cozy elements. You are playing animal folk. And these are basically your Animal Crossing villagers in an eldritch time before mankind enters the picture. So ancient mythological times. It is also a horror game. All right. The Eldritch Woods that you live in is a horrible, terrible place. It's very scary. There are ancient beasts that are trying to devour your soul. And so what you cozy animal folk do to survive in this horrible world is you band together in a cult, because that's totally normal. All right. So you have your cult, and part of the game you spend doing cozy things to build up your village and help your fellow cultists. And part of the game you spend in the horror aspect of it, traveling out as cute little kind of innocent animal folk characters into the horrible woods that is trying to kill you. The overall premise of the game is obviously you're animal folk with a cult, and you have your god. You worship an eldritch god. It keeps you safe, but your god dies. At the beginning of the game, you know that. Your god is dead. So now you have to go out into the world to find a new god quickly before your village gets destroyed. So that's the basic premise of the game. It is on Kickstarter right now. What are we at on Kickstarter? 1 week in, we just hit 75% funded. That's awesome. We're trying to raise $9,100. That is to print a nice hardback version of the game. You can totally get this on PDF. We've played it through playtesting on PDF. But it is a game. I missed the most important part here. I'm just too excited to be on Nat 21 and talk to people about this. There is no GM to this game. It is a GM-less game. Nobody is running the game. Okay? The game is running the game. The players are running the game. All right?
No gods, no masters.
No gods, no masters. It's not the no gods, no masters system, though.
Oh.
I didn't know that was.
Sorry. That's awkward,
yes.
right?
So it is its own system. Like any game I do, I create my own system to go with the narrative and the structure that I want to tell the game in. Like Gablonia was a playing card based game because I really wanted to have that feeling of goblins sitting around a table gambling for the night. Our Woodland Gods does use dice. It uses 6-sided dice. It uses a deck of regular poker cards, but we're also creating this deck of Eldritch Waves, which is our special poker cards. I'll show these off. I'm just going in. So you can get it. It's a regular deck of poker cards. See, we have jokers and we have whatever that is, the 3 of something, the 3 of spades there. So you can pick up this deck. It's part of the Kickstarter. Thank you, Matt. And it works just like a regular deck of poker cards. So you could play poker with this or blackjack or whatever you wanted, go fish, and it would work. But all the cards also have the runes that we use in the game. So every card corresponds to a rune, or every value of card corresponds to the rune. So ace through king. And these runes, there are 13 runes in the game, will be used to help drive the story. This is sort of our randomization in the game. You will draw cards frequently to determine different things. We're going to draw some cards tonight. You only need 1 deck of cards for the entire table, so I will be drawing from our cool deck of cards tonight. Let me shuffle them up. But back to, you can get the PDF of it, but really the Kickstarter is to make this cool deck of cards and to make a hardback bound book, because I want a nice book that holds up, passing it around the table. The game works by reading from the book. The book tells you step by step everything that you need to convey to your fellow players, everything that you need to do, when you need to draw a card, when you need to move tokens around on the playmat. I printed out a playmat. Cool. All right. So let's see. So you'll have a playmat there on the table. says the Eldritch Woods. You'll fill in those hexagons with different places you go. And on this side, on the other side, because it's always backwards, on this side over here, where is that? You will track some tokens. Your heretic pool, your village pool, your gloaming pool, and you'll put cards under the map and over the map to mark different things. But the book tells you when to do all that stuff. So you'll be reading aloud from the book, passing it around the table to the right. And if somebody doesn't want to read to their group, that's totally okay. I played it with my family, and there were points where my kids didn't want to read aloud. That's okay. You just pass the book on to the next person and keep it going. But there's no GM. So tonight, I will be playing the GM. No, tonight.
Words and stuff.
Tonight, since we don't have a real good way to pass the book around, and I'm not going to make people print out the PDF to play the game, the unedited PDF, and try to figure out what words I meant, I'm actually going to just take the role of the reader, and I'm going to read from the book tonight as we create characters, as we create the world. And I'll let you know, I'll go buy the book, and I'll let you know, hey, the book says pass it to the player on the right. That's me. And I'll take the book for myself and keep going. But
as a new character
of the reader.
I do not feel obligated.
I thought that I might possibly make a character with everybody tonight. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to handle the cards and stuff because I have found that when I am playing the game with people and making a character, because I am the person that wrote the game, they defer to me and put me back in the GM role, which there's no GM for this game. So all the players are equal. I even got into the habit of looking away from my play testers when they were narrating so that they wouldn't be like, is that okay? Do we get the confirmation nod from Robert? Is he liking what we're putting out here? So I would just look away and not make eye contact so that they could play to the group if I was observing a play test.
Ask me how many times during the plays I say, is that all right? Can I do
I may ask all the time, and that's okay. And you can do whatever you want.
You just need a white lab coat, a clipboard,
and a clipboard.
And some you do this with your glasses and just kind of make notes.
Yes. So the last playtest I did at Con on the Cob, I did not have the problem of people asking for permission. I just had the problem of people telling me changes they wanted to see in the middle of the game.
Geez.
And I'm like, thank you. I'm writing all these down, but I want y'all to play the game and get your game. So we're not playtesting tonight. We're just playing. We're making characters so you all can see it. Well, thank you, Fantasy Palette.
Nice.
They just upped their pledge to get some cards. So, I mean, I can show the cards off more if you want to see the cards. Right?
Yes, they're really cool.
The cards are really cool. Mab, can you make me full screen again?
Yeah, definitely.
So they do come in a tuck box. And actually, I've got a 10-minute video that breaks this all down that you can see it. But they do come in this tuck box. All right. So it's not just you're going to get cards in a Ziploc bag sent to you. That's Ian's Kickstarter. No, I'm messing with him. It's not.
Nope, I'm doing a box too.
He's gonna.
It's on the dark web.
We were talking about. Hear you. Where was the? We were talking about velvet bags. I might have the velvet bag close by. I don't have the velvet bag I was showing Ian the other night.
Oh, you know what I do have is the velvet bag dice from Weird Scouts.
Yeah, so these are not going to come in a velvet bag. So we're not going to show that. They're going to come in the box. But they do have our dear cultist on the backs of the cards. The art for the illustration here. So our dear cultist was created by Melissa Robb. She's an amazing artist. She has done work for, I know, Paulo and Gwendolyn and a lot of Renaissance Festival artists. She also does gaming art for my games. And then the cards do have the runes on each card. And the cards have related runes. So the runes in this game are in groups of 3 and ghosted above each. So this is the rune for water. Melissa did not design these runes. These runes were concept art by Marianne Rose Papke. She sent me the sketches and then I cleaned them up so they weren't sketches anymore. But this has also got the rune for tree back there and the rune for dirt behind it. So you can remember as you're playing the game, we know this is the water on this card. But when it talks about related runes, some of the rules do. Oh, okay. So tree or dirt will work here too. And those are just on the cards there to remind you.
That's awesome.
So
Neat.
same thing with, wait a second. I got confused there. And they're both upside down now. So same thing with blood. We've got the blood rune and then the fire rune and the beast rune goes to the background. And then they're also the design element over here. So this is the 6 of diamonds. You could just use this in a poker game as the 6 of diamonds. But then you've got the 3 runes that go in the group together. And then they're on the cards there. So
I didn't even notice that detail before. That's a really, really good.
Yeah, thank you. Well, if we were going to do, I resisted. So my buddy Dave Olsher will tell you that we come up in playtesting and workshopping these games of a lot of cool extra things that you might want in the game that cost a lot of money to make. And so my answer is always no. I make books. I'm good at making nice books. All right. So, and I know how much that costs and I know what goes into it. And so, yes, while having a neoprene mat for Gablonia would be a nice addition. It'd be fun. I don't make neoprene mats, right? And you don't really need it. Okay. On this one, it came up very early on. Robert, you have a card game. You got to do a custom deck of cards. And I resisted it. And I was like, I'm not doing a custom deck of cards. And Dave chimes up, Robert hates money. Stop telling him good ideas.
Oh man, this is such a bummer because these cards are awesome. I wish you had gone with them.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do them. We're gonna do the cards. The cards are a thing. All right, because I broke down, right? I worked out the math. You're gonna be able to get the cards because I was like, okay, we're gonna sketch out some ruins. We're gonna put them on playing cards, and we're gonna see, does this actually add to the game, or is it a gimmick? Right? Does it actually add enough to the game to get rid of the headache of now Robert has to make cards and a book? And it did. They were really nice to have them. You don't need them. You can. We played this for almost a year without the runes on the cards. It works totally fine without them, but they do add a nice element.
How long? A year, Robert? How long have you been developing this game?
This game I started developing right around Gen Con last year. So last.
At what point? How long after you released Gablonia did you start developing?
Oh, I was already probably working on this by the time Gablonia hit the shelves.
You got a problem, man. You got a problem.
So once the game goes to print, Mab, I'm on to the next thing. I'm a theater person at heart. So if I don't have the next project in front of me, I feel like I'm not doing my job. When in fact, by not focusing on marketing Gablonia and making expansions for it, I'm actually not doing my job. I've moved on to the next project. And I'll go ahead and tell you now, there's another game that's already started playtesting behind this one. And cover art. I got the drafts for the cover art yesterday. It's what I do. I make cool
Robert,
games. Yeah.
Robert
go to
hates money.
Gamers Anonymous.
Gamers Anonymous. That's for people that buy games.
Are you sure?
And if I were to drop down this background, you would see that my wife probably agrees with you. Stop what's the latest one sitting right here? Well, I can't even find the latest one because I got a stack of like 12 games right beside me. The next game is already in the works, but we're not talking about the next game. We're talking about our Woodland Gods. So yeah, Robert hates money. But we are going to do the cards. You don't need them, but they are nice. And just like when I make a book, I go for a nice book. It's offset printed in the United States. It's printed by the Jostens Yearbook Company. If you have Gablonia, Starship Inferno, or Purgatory House, it's the same company that printed those. It's traditional binding. They're made to last. They're hardback. So I do a nice book. I really want to put ribbon bookmarks in this one. Those are going to cost about $1,000 extra just to put the ribbon bookmarks in the book. So I agreed that was a stretch goal. Like I want them in the book. And if I had an extra $1,000, I would just do it and lose money just to have them in there. But
Robert,
that's a stretch goal. But the cards are actually nice card stock. These are not Magic the Gathering card stock, which is fine. But that shows wear and tear pretty well. These are poker card stock. They call it a premium embossed card stock. And they've got, you're not going to see them on the camera, but they've got these little like bubbles, really tiny you're still not going to see it on the camera. I mean, I can't even get close. I would need a microscope to show you. But it's got like this linen finish that is made by all these little tiny bubbles, or bumps. Bumps is a better word for it. And so they have that real poker playing card feel, and they shuffle really well. They slide across each other, and they're not going to show as much wear and tear. They're still cardboard at the end of the day. They're going to show wear and tear. They're cards. But let's play this game. We got to get done in time for something that's now not happening tonight.
Gothic horror next week.
Gothic horror.
We have to be done by next
just
week.
as a fun fact, guys, Gothic horror will not be happening this evening, unfortunately. The Gloom Master is at a gig, and Melissa is taking care of the wee little baby bet.
Yes.
So
Also, I don't want to contribute to the problem, but Robert Hates Money would be a great name for a game.
Really though,
Robert Hates
I'd
Money.
buy it.
Yep.
So, full disclosure for everybody, needs theme sleeves. Oh my goodness, Fantasy Palette. So, but the point of these is that you don't have to sleeve them. That's why I'm going with the nice poker cards. You don't sleeve poker cards.
You do when they're collectible.
I mean that part.
yeah.
Well, okay. I don't have any of my poker cards sleeved. But
Apparently, you've never played Comic Con tournament poker.
You don't have special edition.
I do have. I'm not going to get out my poker card collection. When I started making games that used poker cards or blackjack, my first games, which are poker cards that you put blackjack, somehow that put me on the list of everybody now sends me the coolest poker cards that they find, and I've become a collector of poker decks, which is great. I love it. I mean, send me poker decks if you think they're cool. I've got some from the 1900s. I've got some from last year. Yeah. So they're all cool. What was I going to say? No, that's a downer. I won't tell anybody that.
Let's play the game.
Let's play the game. Our Woodland Gods. So, does everybody have their character sheet?
Right here.
All right.
It's stuck to my desk.
All right, that's fine. You don't have to hold it up and show me. It's not
Mine's
school.
on my screen.
We're not checking.
I feel like
I
I'm
don't
in
know how to
school.
show my screen to my screen.
So, and I'm gonna fold mine in half just so I can show people this. We are gonna fancy this up a little bit with some more embellishments. This is the character sheet that we've been using, but I want just a little bit more stylistic to it. One side is the character sheet. The other side is the cheat sheet, okay, that has all the reminders on the rules, what the runes are on the cards in case you don't have the fancy cards with the runes already printed on them. So really, for a player, and you're all players, you can follow along with this, even if you're not paying attention when someone's reading from the book. But I am going to. I have not seen those cards yet. But now that you've said it, I'm going to have to go look them up.
Yeah, I was gonna say something to Fantasy Palette, and you are an enabler.
Yes,
and we are okay with that.
All right, so tonight we're doing the prologue. This is a game that plays over 3 staves, and the prologue. Prologue is create the world and your character. It is a game that comes to a conclusion. So unlike Dungeons and Dragons, I haven't created the system here where you can play open-ended for the rest of time, being cultists. You totally can, but the story that is presented in the game takes place over 3 stages, so 3 sections, 3 acts, that each have a specific goal, and the book is going to guide you towards that goal. You can fail, right? You can fail to achieve that goal, and it does not end the game. It changes the path that you are on, okay? And the choices that you make throughout the game will influence later options. So we worked it out. You could play the game start to finish 7 times through and never follow the same path, all right? Add to that the fact that you have your custom characters, that you're drawing cards that influence locations and influence horrors and things that happen to you. You can play the game over and over again as many times as you want, and it's probably never going to be exactly the same game. But there are 7 distinct paths through the book, and you're going to play to the end, which in most groups is going to take 3 or 4 sessions of play. It's not you can sit down and play one shot at the table. You just get through stage 1, find a new woodland god or don't. Yay, we win. You can call that game over if you want to be over. Or you can then come back and play stage 2.
That's what we did.
That's what we did, right? So yes. But the point being, choices you make matter, and you will play to the end of the game, even if you royally screw something up. So where are we? I'm going to read from the book. Prologue. Create the world and your characters. Creating your cult. The first stage of playing our Woodland Gods is to create your cult, build your characters, and venture out to find a new Woodland God. Once you have assembled a group of players, we've done that. We have our players.
Check.
All right. Make sure everyone has dice to use. Well, we don't actually probably need the dice tonight, but it is 6-sided dice. Okay. A copy of the character sheet for each player. We've got that. And you'll also want copies of the playmat, the story log, the NPC cards, and a deck of regular playing cards, which we have. Tokens, index cards, pencils, and erasers. Pick someone to be this is the first instruction in the book. Pick someone to be the first speaker of the floor and hand them the book to read.
I nominate Robert.
Yep, you all chose me, so I'm going to do this. And it says, speaker to begin, set the stage by reading the following aloud. Everybody ready? Here we go. I'm going to take a drink of my drink. Deep in the heart of the primordial forest, we animal folk went about our days as always, eating, sleeping, gathering supplies, building a home, falling in love, arguing with our neighbors, raising our children, and tucking them into bed. But at night, we all donned the cloaks of the faithful, gathered in a place of power, and chanted songs to our God's dread glory. 3 days ago, everything changed. Our God is dead, our village is reeling, and we are hunted by dark, eldritch beasts. These are the end times, and they don't look like happy ones. Unless, of course, we manage to find a new woodland god to worship. A stronger one this time. Then maybe we can save our people. As a group, we are going to define the particulars of our own woodland realm. We do this by making a series of choices about our old god, the traits of our most hated enemies, the heretics, and the places of interest around us. Then we're going to make characters set off on a quest to find a new woodland god to worship. I'm going to start by asking some questions, and we, meaning you, need to decide on the answers. If you cannot reach a consensus on an answer after a few minutes of discussion, I will call for a vote. Later in the game, we will get to provide individual answers to other questions. But for now, we want to create a world we can all play in. All right. So on these next few steps.
I have a quick question. What's the min number and max number of
Sure. You could, with all my games, I'm always asked, can you play this game solo? And I always say, no, why would you want to? All right. This game, technically, you can play solo. It's just very, very hard because part of the game depends on being able to help your teammates, your pact mates, out of trouble. Okay. You can totally play it solo. The game will let you do that. It's just not going to be the easiest experience. If we hit a certain stretch goal, I'm going to figure out how to make that solo experience more fulfilling. But I would say the best play count for this game is 3 to 6 players. You could probably do it just fine with 2. The problem I find with having 2 players in a game is if you disagree on something, there's nobody to break the tie, right? So I have seen relationships ruined over 2-player games that were supposed to be played in a relationship. And yeah, I'm sure those relationships probably had other issues. But yeah, so I would say 3 to 6 is probably your best. You can go more than 6. The more players you add, the longer the game is going to take each session, just because everybody gets a chance to provide input. Everybody does something every round. So yes, Ian.
Could you make multiple characters like for yourself if you were
and play them? Yeah,
and just
yeah.
play
That would
them,
actually make the game. That would make it more manageable as a one-player game. Yeah. So that will be, you know what? I'll put that in. If we don't hit that stretch goal to do dedicated solo rules, I'll put that in as a sidebar suggestion. If you want to play it by yourself, make 3 characters, right?
Yep.
And then play all 3 of them. And then go to therapy for split personality stuff. Right. I have several solo games. I really want to enjoy playing a solo game. I loved Choose Your Own Adventure books and Fighting Fantasy books as a kid. These are this game is in part inspired by those. But now if I want to play a solo game, I'll just turn on a video game. Because so many solo games are like journaling games, and it feels like work to me if I've got to sit there and write a story, because that's my job. So I'm like, if I want to write a story, I don't want your parameters on it. I just want to write a story. So I am not the ideal solo player here.
Agreed. That's my problem too.
Yeah.
My only problem with solo games is the company.
That's a big problem.
It's dreadful.
That is the problem.
You got to really get along with your other players to play that. Okay. So the very first thing we're going to do is finish shuffling this deck, and I am going to draw 3 cards from the deck of Eldritch Ways. Our old god, matches the rune on one of these cards. So we have to decide, was your dead god originally a god associated with tree? Was it a god associated with the void?
Yes.
Or was it a god associated with death?
Oh, we got some nasty stuff there.
Yes.
They're all awesome.
So your cult originally worshipped one of these 3 things.
Death,
tree,
the void, or
death.
a tree.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's more powerful than death,
I mean, that part.
except maybe the void. So
Yeah, I was gonna
Maybe.
say.
Oh,
The
or
void.
a tree. Because what happens when a tree dies? Nothing. They just keep standing there.
Well, I think it maybe falls down and gives new life, like bugs
Eventually.
and moss and things.
What if it falls into the void?
If it
we
falls
got
into
2
the
for
void.
void. We've got 1 for tree. A void tree. Thanks,
Void
Evelyn.
I mean, I'm open here.
I would worship a void tree.
So, and this is a disclaimer: void is actually it's the only rune that does not belong to. Well, that's not void. Oh my goodness, doing this whole thing backwards. Void is the only rune. You notice it does not have any associated runes to it. So it's a solo all by itself. It's the ace. It's all by itself. That does make some things harder and some things easier in the game. But it's the only rune in the set where you can't use one of the associated runes to substitute.
But this is our old god, right?
This
We're
is
going
your
out
old
to
god.
find a new
Your
god.
old god. Yes, it's your old god.
I want to go with void then, because that's cool.
I don't know. That just sounds like too poetic. Oh, our old god is gone. We used to worship a void. Like, how did
That's
we
fair.
know it was gone?
Right. I was just thinking, like, oh, the
Okay.
void is gone.
You sold me. You sold me.
It's like, how do we know?
A tree would be more obvious that it's dead. In fact, we could have like a old rotted tree that was the representative of the god or something, probably.
I mean, death is also pretty good. I was mostly going pro
Death is
tree
gone.
to be
Death
silly.
died.
We could have a lot
Death
of dead
passed
stuff
away.
around. Yeah.
I mean, with strange eons, even death may die.
All right, May, you got to chime in.
I'm also kind of cool with a void.
I don't know. I kind of want the void. I know death is cool, but I kind of like the void. Like, I'm over here listening to everybody's arguments, but like, I mean, the void is calling my name.
We
my
do have a
soul.
lot of void. My thought is the tree is the weakest, and so the tree sucks. So F the tree.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
oh, the tree is dead. Yeah, our god died because we worshipped a tree.
Oh, I mean.
So if I say
womp
void,
womp.
we just basically,
I mean, you're starting to make me really pro tree here.
I don't know. Like,
Yes,
I'm kind
now-
of.
we got our first
It's
fight.
already a dead god. Like,
It's your dead god. It's the dead god.
Yeah, so that's why I want to pick one that's not my favorite.
So
Okay,
tree.
void tree. Otherwise, we're gonna Thunderdome for it. Like, I don't know. Fisticuffs.
So Mab, are you
And the
saying
next
tree?
part of
Are you voting
this,
tree?
the next part of
I'm
this
going
is
tree.
yeah. You're also going to define what form your god took. So if it was tree, you might have had a big sequoia tree or oak tree or whatever tree. Or it could have been that little tiny Christmas tree.
I'm going to go with tree too, just because it has a physical manifestation that we could have a, Void has a hard, I like Void, but it has a hard time. Like, what was it that,
Yes.
we looked at it. So, yeah.
Well, and the final book will have some examples. Examples of Void could be a vast cave underground and it's just empty.
Or a big hole in the ground.
A big hole in the ground. A whisper in the well.
But having the dead god there,
sky.
I like tree better because we can have the old the bones of the dead god in the middle of our village.
Yes.
So are we all on tree page?
I think we're sold for tree.
Yeah,
I am tree.
You win, Cubby.
Woo!
Right.
Cubby
went
wins.
with tree.
Cubby was pro Void. That's fine. That's fine.
Cubby was the first tree.
Wait. What's the next question though?
What form did your god
Void
take?
tree?
Void tree.
What is the void tree?
It was a hollow tree.
A void tree is like a creaky old empty tree where like owls and cartoon ghosts live. But
this big hole in it that was just infinite darkness.
It's infinite, If you go inside,
the bark is black as soot.
Like I want to see like that creepy, like just bare bones, just like Halloween-ish looking tree that has like a soul, like just a hole, just a cavern.
And it's Vanta black all over.
It's actual Vanta black because it is
that is the soul of
the void tree is Amish Kapoor.
That check.
Yes, and you must sign. Is that the one you must sign a waiver that you are not?
No, it's everything but that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right. Like, if it was the pinkest pink tree.
Yes.
Yeah, pinkest pink tree.
Gotcha. But this is the void
like
tree.
The blackest black that you can ever get.
I'm with you. Okay. All right.
Black tree with a hole in it.
Black tree with a hole in it.
It's black like my soul.
All right. Now, question number 2. And there are 3 options to pick from here. So I'm going to read the question and the options. What happened to our old god? 1, it got bored and wandered away while no one was looking. 2, it was felled by a natural occurrence, wind, rain, lightning, old age, etc. 3, the heretics murdered it and most of our village.
Woof.
2 or 3.
I was going to go with natural thing, like lightning struck the tree.
That's what I was thinking. That, or I mean, if we're thinking, so I'm thinking like an infestation of like termites, like
lantern
you
flies,
know what's very termite like? Heretics.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the infestation of termites sounds like the heretics did it because that's an active thing that something did, which I'd be fine with.
Heretics are termites in the fabric of society. They're eating away the subflooring of human kindness.
I am sold.
Okay, so heretics used termites to take out our god.
The termites.
Got it.
Is that what y'all are going with? The heretics murdered it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
termites.
heretics and the name of them are called the termites. They're our arch enemies.
We haven't determined them yet.
Nope, you're gonna do that next.
Yeah.
It's coming soon. That's some good ideas.
The termatics.
Termatics. Not the termatics.
By L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh, I don't have the ability to click your comments up. That's a map ability.
Terror.
All right. Next question. Again, 3 options here. What is the technology level of our village? Is it Tree Fort Chic, which is basically the Ewok village? Okay, basket making, leaf clothing, tiki torches, and lots of twine. Is it Wattle and Bronze, which would give you mud and timber homes, pottery, flax linen, papyrus scrolls, sort of an Egyptian level
Ancient
of technology?
Egypt,
Yep. Or is it Storybook Grim? Stone cottages, cotton cloth, books and paper, and forged iron.
1 or 3.
Yub. Shoot up,
I say we go steampunk.
Steampunk Ewok.
Don't think that was an option.
That was not one of the 3 options. Though now that it's been said, I'm gonna ponder if it can be a 4th option, but not tonight.
Honestly, if when I have my own copy, I'm gonna be running Atom Age. I'm gonna be running Gas Lamp. I'm gonna be running Sci-Fi Future Shiny.
Ooh, I'm here for this.
Diesel Punk.
Yes.
Diesel Punk.
Hot right now, very hot. And so
You
is
don't want to go like
Rococo
Blade
Punk.
Runner style? Like, can that be an option? Like straight up, just like
Cyberpunk.
I'm gonna do one in the post-apocalypse of 6-string samurai.
You know
in
what?
A wasteland of cannibals and
Ooh.
mutants.
I mean, do we just want to go Dune? Like,
I'll make that the expansion. But for tonight, you gotta pick one.
Well, you
of
don't
the
do
3.
expansions.
I don't
Yeah.
know expansions.
Are we going
because you
Jub
hate
Jub?
money.
Because he hates money. Yeah.
Okay, so Gablonia is supposed to have an expansion. It has been started. The Gablonia has an expansion.
Well, that's good.
What?
Mhm. I believe it when I see it.
Cold-blooded.
I believe it.
Well, Ian knows part of what it is.
When I
So
see it.
a little bit. Well, that's how much has been done. It's a little bit.
3 lines on a blank page.
Right, it's more than that, but I keep getting other ideas that are like, oh, well, we got to make this one. We got to make this one. All right. So, did you all decide to go
3/4 sheep.
Ewoks?
Ewoks.
Ewoks.
Nub nub.
Nub nub.
Yub yub.
Eat your
You
mama.
don't have to be Ewoks. Okay. And
Diabetes.
the last question, is this really the last question? Let me go back to the book. Yeah, it is. Okay. Which of these best describes our cult? Okay.
Ooh.
These are a little bit longer, a little bit more complicated. So option 1, we are very devout and led by a fanatical high cleric. Okay. Devout with a high cleric. Option 2, we want to be left alone and we're led by an innocent golden child. Option 3, we are aggressive and militaristic, and we are led by a wizened warrior. And option 4,
Ooh, 4.
each cultist has equal say and worships in their own way.
Okay, so hear me out.
I'm
I
listening.
think
What do you
Resident Evil, Mother Miranda. Boom. That's all I gotta say. Like straight up priestess, giant wings, psychotic looking. Like I can post like a picture for reference, but like it's her and like all her like little followers and stuff. But then again, I'm biased because I do
Our
love
void
attention
tree
on
sounds like a
women.
fanatical cleric. I agree.
I mean, Mother Miranda. Like
Fanatical cleric. I'm in.
Here's the thing. I've never seen or played Resident Evil,
Same.
but I'm in.
look, I'll send you a reference.
You've convinced me.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna let us have this discussion, but I'm gonna DM this to you so you can too love Mother Miranda.
Well, there you go.
Oh, I love Mother Miranda. Don't get me wrong.
And out of all of these questions, this last one has the most impact on the late stage of the game. So the who your cult is led by can open up or block off certain paths in stave 3.
That's all you had to say.
Big Mama Zombie Lady Cleric. That's what she got. Okay. All right.
I'll follow
So
that.
we've created our cult. Speaker, turn the page to creating the opposition and pass the book to the player on your right. They are the new speaker. So I'm going to pass the book to me. I'm going to turn the page and all right. So first instruction on this page, creating the opposition. Speaker, write the word heretics next to any hexagon on the outside edge of the map. So the person that currently has the book, all right, and is reading from the book, they're called the speaker of the lore, and they would put heretics somewhere on the outside edge. I'm going to just write it in right here. Okay, so it's gone. Whoop, out. Where is it? Out there. All right, so that's what this means. The Kickstarter ends on the 13th of November, so you do have a little bit of time. You can back today. The way Kickstarter works, they do not take the money until the Kickstarter ends, and then only if we have hit the goal. So if we don't hit $9,100, they don't take any money from anybody, and I don't get squat. If we do hit it and you have backed the Kickstarter before then, on the night of the 13th, they will process your credit card. And then 2 weeks later, they say, hey, we got this money for you. Here it is. Go make your game. They sit on it for 2 weeks because I don't know if they get interest or what it is there somehow.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So, and plus they get a cut. So that's part of it. But yes, it's running until the 13th. This is my 13th Kickstarter, which I didn't realize when I made it. And there are 13 runes in the game. So if you have triskaidekaphobia, not the game for you. All right. Just throwing that out there. But
I imagine card games in general are problematic.
Right. That's why it has 13 runes, because there's 13 values of cards in a suit. So yeah, exactly. And thank goodness, because coming up with more than 13, that starts to stretch my brain. Okay. Create the opposition. Read the following section aloud. Our cult is not the only one in the woods. There are countless others. I know, right? Each of them worshiping their own deity, each with their own goals and directives. Of course, those others are foolish and deceived, but it doesn't fall to us to save everyone. There is, however, one nearby cult that is nothing more than a thorn in our side. They tempt away our brethren, murder our faithful, feast on our flesh, spread blasphemy and lies, and they probably had something to do with our old god's demise.
Oh, I bet they did.
They are the heretics, our ultimate enemy and a danger to our very existence. As I read each question about the heretics, we either need someone to roll a 6-sided die to determine the answer randomly, or we can choose the option we like best as a group. We will then mark our answers on the other side of the story log. So yes, I marked all the things that the players decided about the cult right here. We're going to mark the heretics over here, and then you'll fill in this stuff on the bottom as you play the game. Different things that happen in stave 1, different things that happen in stave 2, and whenever an NPC dies, you'll put their name down there so you can remember them by.
Cool.
NPCs do die in this game. Your fellow villagers will die. That happens.
Well, we're probably going to sacrifice them to whatever new god we find.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Do we bury them or eat them?
That's also. So that question actually got cut in very early playtests, whether you all were cannibals or not.
My last character
there were long
was
discussions about it.
There were long discussions about whether that question needed to be in there. That is why the technology question is in there. That's what all those discussions distilled down to. Is people had very different images in their head. And it was like, I think we can answer this if we just nail down the technology level. And then if you all want to be cannibals, I don't care. Like, that's not a thing we have to define. Yes.
We'll not do that tonight. This is a family show.
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it a family show? All right. So who are the heretics? And I think I'm just going to read them and let you all decide.
Okay.
You can roll a dice if your group wants to get through it quickly and have something random. But
let's start with the random die.
Let's start with the random dice.
I rolled a 3.
A 3 would be chitinous alien insect folk.
They look like termites,
which would work for your termites.
Wow.
Yeah, it's obviously termites. This is a sign.
I'm telling you.
Okay. You want to... All right.
But I would like to know what the other ones are.
Okay, the other ones are regular animal folk, but evil. Lovecraftian.
Like us, but evil.
Good.
Right.
Literally,
Same as you, but evil. Right? Lovecraftian fish folk. They all have goatees. Yes. So Lovecraftian fish folk, chitinous alien insect folk, soul-sucking shadow folk, savage, bloodthirsty cannibals. That's where the cannibals got shoved, and brushed zombie-like peons. So those are the 6 options. I think you ended up with the one that works best for your team.
Yep.
Perfection.
All right.
The Void Tree ordained it before it died.
What do the heretics worship? Do you want to roll a die on this
I want to
one?
roll it.
Yep,
All right,
roll.
May's going to roll a die.
Probably
Services.
something dumb.
1.
The bones of a behemoth.
Okay, what are our other options?
That was option number 1. Option number 2, the shadowy eldritch beasts. Option 3, the harsh and blinding sun. Option 4, the place where nothing grows. Option 5, the twisted dead tree.
I like that though.
Yeah.
They made archery into theirs.
Yeah.
Which killed it. Because they suck so much.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then option 6 is the
Jesus.
wine dark sea.
Is the what?
The wine dark sea.
How very Homeric.
Right.
You mean like WINE wine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was believed
Was it a
that
sea-
people couldn't see the color blue back in
Oh,
the
I
day.
was thinking it.
No, this is really fascinating
Yeah.
because a lot of the old literature, instead of saying blue, they said wine colored.
Yeah, they didn't have a word for the color blue.
They didn't have a word for the color blue.
Every
weren't just
culture
luscious.
names red first.
Okay, that's fair.
No,
So
but
you want
yeah.
to go with the twisted dead tree?
Yeah.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
corrupted our tree into being like their tree.
Okay. And what is their false god's domain? Go ahead and roll a dice, somebody, for this.
The
3
void.
again.
So void is actually an option on this, but 3 is monsters, which would be the beast rune. Option number 1 is decay, which is the death rune. Option number 2 is madness, which is the moon. Option number 3 is monsters, which is the beast. Option number 4 is they worship oblivion, which is the void. Option number 5 is war, which is the blood rune. And option number 6 is absolute nonsense like peace and doves and whatnot, which is the clan rune.
Peace.
I like decay or
Yeah. You know, I mean, decay, void, oblivion.
I like Oblivion because that
Yeah.
really is straight up that they started worshiping the same god as us, and we
That's
were
what I'm
like,
saying.
"No, our god's dead if you're worshiping it."
Yeah, I'm good with the Oblivion too.
Okay,
yeah, that's fine.
so
I'm gonna take my
Everyone-
god and go home.
everyone look at your character sheet at this point.
Okay.
And on the right hand corner, you'll see a section that says the runes, and it lists all the runes in order. You want to circle void. So circle
Okay.
the void rune. That is going to be important. And it tells you on the character sheet right underneath there, if you ever use the heretic rune in the game, the void rune in the game, you will add a token at that moment to the heretic pool.
Which we do not want to happen.
Right.
It makes the heretics stronger, and a lot of Act 3 depends on the strength of the heretics.
Ooh.
Stupid bugs.
So, stupid bugs.
Crush
All
them
right.
all.
At this point, we've defined both your cult and the heretics. Speaker, turn to the next page and pass the book to me. So now we're going to create our character. So I'll go back over what we did for the cult and village and the heretics. So your cult originally worshipped the tree, the void tree, creaky, old, and empty. The heretics murdered your old god. Your technology level is Tree Fort Chic, so basically Ewoks, and you are very devout, led by a fanatical high cleric zombie priest, I believe, Big Mama Zombie.
Priestess.
Priestess. Sorry. The heretics are termite folk. They worship the twisted dead tree, possibly yours they killed. And their false god's domain is the domain of void. Everyone circled void on their character sheet to remind them that void is not a good rune now in this game. All right.
It's a good rune to
Avoid.
skip.
Skip.
Yours was so much better.
Yeah. Sorry. You already did a show today. I understand. You're tired. You're not.
Next time, Cubby.
I'm gonna have to figure out a way to pen this to my shirt so we can be twins. It's over my name. It's like,
I have a really important question about character creation.
yes,
Can I be a unicorn?
there is no GM in this game.
That
mean,
means
Are
you
there
have to
rules
convince
that
all of
say
us.
you cannot be a unicorn?
I'm gonna read what the book says.
Okay.
Okay. So character creation. The steps to character creation are: 1, choose your animal, folk, breed, and special ability. 2, you'll choose a vocation. 3, you'll gain a blessing. 4, you'll write down 3 items. And 5, you'll give yourself a name. Speaker, read the following section aloud. Character creation. Step 1, breed and abilities. We are each going to create an animal folk cultist to embody during the adventure. You will be responsible for the words, thoughts, and actions of your own character, just like an actor in a play. Their choices are completely under your control. Our game takes place in the mythic eldritch time before mankind entered the picture. The animal folk we play are bipedal, talking people capable of an intelligent thought, tool use, and of course, adventure. These animal folk can be anything we like, including fish, spiders, or bugs, unless those have already been labeled as the heretics. So you cannot play termite people because you've already labeled that as the heretics. Decide what sort of woodland animal breed your character embodies and write that in the breed blank at the top of your character sheet.
Query.
Yes.
Because I think the last playthrough we took it a little too literally. So woodland animal does not literally mean woodland animals that are found in real life.
So I'm going to give you the Robert answer, who is not the GM of this game. In my mind, in my vision of the game, the animals are all woodland animals. I have yet to have a playthrough in the year that we've been doing this that someone didn't want to go outside the woods.
Okay, so hear me out.
So very early
I want to be a narwhal.
That's a fish.
I don't care.
That's an ocean fish.
My answer became I don't care. So instead of arguing, like, I was very adamant in Weird Scouts that centaurs do not exist as part of that world. Okay, I was adamant about that because it doesn't make sense to me. 1, I don't want to associate anything with Harry Potter in this day and age. But 2, it didn't make sense to me. Centaurs are not a forest animal. All right, and they are a plains and hills animal. Running through the trees as a centaur, you're going to break your legs. You're going to have to be put down, right? So I was adamant there's no centaurs in the woods. It doesn't.
It's just the wrong biome for them.
It's the wrong biome. Centaurs are a creature of Greek mythology. Okay, when we got to our woodland gods, and people wanted to be a penguin, or they wanted to be a unicorn, and at first I was like, those are not woodland animals. And then it was brought up that this is a game of imagination in a time before man, in a mythic era, and not everybody is as smart as me and knows what animals actually come from the woodland. In fact, there may be players that have never been in a forest before, and that's fair. So you may play whatever makes sense to you, does not piss your table mates off, and seems fun.
Penguinicorn.
A penguinicorn.
Oh my god!
So.
Is that penguin or penguin?
I'm telling you, the penguinicorn is even cooler.
Penguin, yeah, as you say, an armored unicorn that would
pangolin.
Pangolin, yeah.
Oh,
pangolin with a horn.
I forgot to read this one line. Players,
Pangolin.
all right, wait for everyone to write down their breed before continuing. Players may discuss this, but you do not all need to be the same kind of animal folk.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So you do not all need to be penguinicorns. Or narwhals.
Even just a penguin, whatever, however you pronounce it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So has everybody picked what kind of animal they're going to be?
No, you want to be a porcupine or go full Narnia with a badger, British badger, not American, or go full on, or just do honey badger.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had both in playtests. We've had a British badger, not the same game, and we have had a honey badger. We have had a Tasmanian devil. We have had a penguin. Somebody really wanted to play a penguin. Never had anybody play a chupacabra.
Okay, now I want to be a chupacabra.
You should totally be a chupacabra.
Wait,
a goat-looking thing.
Mab, you have to be a jackalope. I'm just putting that out there.
Oh no!
I'm looking for my antlers.
That's
We're
okay.
just-
We're gonna
hear me out.
go completely off on
I've
Robert's
kind
game.
of
That's
been
okay.
planning on just asking the chat, so I think I'm gonna be a Sasquatch.
It's not an animal.
I guess I'm the only one that's going to be something kind of normal.
I'm going with badger.
You don't have to be.
No, I want to be a black widow spider.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
That's what I'm going to go with. Black widow spider.
Are you gonna use a Russian accent for your character?
Other black widow.
Like from Venture Brothers with like Molotov cocktails. Like
Molotov
Brock
cocktails.
Sampson.
It is always cold in Siberia.
It is always cold in Siberia. I can only keep that up for so long.
All right. So May is a Black Widow spider. May did actually play a snake. If you want to see May play a
just gonna
snake.
ask if I remember you being the snake in the test.
Yeah,
Yes.
May was the snake. That is on YouTube. You can actually see it through the Kickstarter. We've got a link to the live play. It was live because we recorded it with living people. It is not live every time you watch the video. It's not like a bell goes off and suddenly everybody runs to their
Sorry.
stations and
Almost.
exit.
Wait, I'm the only one doing that?
You're the only one doing that.
Oh!
Though now that I've said that, I kind of want to do some sort of theater on demand where a bell rings and everybody jumps to there'd be no, it wouldn't make any money. And I hate money, so we'll do it. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to. I like paying people. I really do. I like paying my editor and I like paying my proofreaders and I like paying my artists. Most of all, I like paying my artists. I like paying artists to make cool art. So I couldn't do a theater thing where people didn't get paid. That's no good. Okay, back to our Woodland Gods. Everybody has their animal. We didn't go all the way around. Ian, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go with the badger.
All right, Mab.
I know I'm supposed to go jackalope, and my heart is solid, but I'm going narwhal.
Narwhal.
Narwhal, swimming through the ocean,
Ocean.
causing a commotion, because they are so awesome.
Okay.
Chupacabra.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Cubby, you're going with Chupacabra?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
All
bro.
right.
I'm a chupacabra.
You gotta talk with a Texas accent.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, let's go Texas.
I was thinking surfer, so I could be a chupacabra.
A Chupacabra. I love it. All right.
Chupacabra.
I can't do a Jersey. Oh man, if we had Bruce, we could totally do a Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then
like it.
once everybody's got their animal, read the following aloud. Animal folk, by virtue of being people, do not automatically have all the same biological abilities that their purely animal cousins do. Nocturnal folk can't always see better in the dark. Bird folk don't always fly. Snake folk aren't automatically venomous, and so on. You can, however, pick one biological ability for your animal folk character. You might want your character to be a bird folk that can fly, a frog folk that can jump super high, a skunk folk that lets off a foul stench, or even a venomous snake folk. These abilities give you an extra die on relevant tasks, and they open up the possibility for actions that no one else could do. But not every animal has a special biological ability that makes sense in play. Some foxes can change their color in the winter, but that doesn't really help you as animal folk characters in this woods. If you don't think that your character has a special biological ability, you may define an affinity for your character instead. These affinities can be physical, like a bear folk being muscular, a mouse folk being sneaky, or a squirrel folk being nimble. They can also be more representative of myth and fable, like foxes and crows being clever or owls being wise. On the line next to animal ability on your character sheet, write down either a biological ability your animal folk has or choose one broader affinity.
Drinking tea. No.
Not going to be super useful in this game, but again, there is no GM to tell you yes or no.
I can dig tunnels.
Badger moles. Yep.
Yeah.
Can we have the all Avatar version where like everything's like a two, like a duck turtle duck? Everything's like two animals in one. Badger moles.
That would be a great session of this game.
Yeah.
To just play Avatar animals. I'm a chupacabra, so my ability is to suck all of the viscera and intestines out of the creature.
No, seriously.
Yeah, there you go.
Like an otter pop.
So when you say Avatar animals, is this a thing like from Avatar, the TV show?
The Last Airbender?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm on the same page.
Yeah. All of the animals are like, is it a platypus bear? No, it's just a bear.
Yeah.
Is it a bear shark? No, it's just a bear. And that was one of the funniest scenes in the Earth Kingdom scene. He had a bear. Okay, so is it like an ostrich bear? No, it was just a bear.
Okay, I'm going to make a note, Mab. I'm going to probably ask you what this means later.
Okay.
Because I like that idea and I like putting that in there as a suggestion. However, I cannot reference, like, I can't say Avatar animals. Just like I can't say Animal Crossing in the actual text of the game.
Right.
Which it's very interesting. So I have had groups that immediately think Animal Crossing if they've played Animal Crossing. I've also had groups that have never played Animal Crossing and thought this was Robin Hood style animals.
Yeah.
So they both work.
Yeah.
So I did have one group that thought this was had half the group thought it was Robin Hood and the other half thought it was like what's the one with the rabbits? That it's
Watership Down.
Oh,
Watership Down.
Oh, that one hurt my soul.
But they don't walk around and stuff. So
right. They thought they were like animals in the woods. And somebody said, no, we're like Robin Hood. We walk around and talk and wear clothes. And I'm like, actually, I was thinking Animal Crossing. And everybody's like, we haven't played that game. I'm like, okay, do whatever you want. It all works. Okay. All right. So does everybody have their animal ability?
Yes.
Cubby is sucking viscera. May, what is your animal?
Because I love a good pun. My Russian Black Widow spider's name is Natasha, but she's like Spider-Man and gonna have strong web spinning.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Ian?
Digging. I dig tunnels.
Digging tunnels and Mab.
I have a giant lance coming out of the middle of my forehead.
Right. Right.
It's actually a really big tooth.
Yes.
Built-in sword. Like, that's what I'm hearing.
Built-in sword.
Okay.
Speaker, wait until everyone has written down a special ability before continuing. We've done that. Once everyone is ready, read the following section aloud. Step 2. We're on step 2. Vocation. Now, each of us is going to pick our role within the cult. Even though we are playing dark cultists, we will have to work together to save our village. Playing loners, malcontents, or murderous psychopaths isn't in the spirit of this game and won't be as fun as you may think it to be. These are the vocations we can choose from. Alchemist, priest, sin eater, seer, or watcher. Alchemists are the healers, witch doctors, and mad scientists of the cult. They create potions and salves.
They make tea.
Priests,
I want to be an alchemist.
Been there, done that.
Sorry.
Priests are the spiritual leaders and advisors of the cult. They can encourage others through their prayers, guidance, or scorn. Sin eaters suffer pain and nightmares to safeguard the souls of their fellows. They can devour heresy from packmates, turning it into damaging conditions on themselves. Seers are the wise mystics, fortune tellers, and dreamers of the cults. They can sense the play of fate through the woods and take steps to alter it. And watchers are the scouts, woodland guys, and spies of the cult. They know the dangers of the eldritch woods and are skilled at avoiding them. So on your character sheet, under vocation abilities, each of these vocations is listed out with the mechanical effect of their ability. And you're just going to pick one and bubble in beside it what you want. Seers equal fiber.
I really
I will say this. I'm not being an alchemist again because I already did that.
I want to be an alchemist
it
because I want to make tea for everything. Everything is a cup of tea.
What are you doing, Cubby?
I got it. I do we get to say it?
Yeah, you can say. Yeah.
I'm a sin sucker.
Yeah, that would make sense. You just suck everything up.
As a chupacabra. Yeah.
Ooh, heresy.
And what are you playing, May?
Okay, so we got an alchemist, a sin sucker. What did you say you're gonna be, Mab? Did you say?
I didn't. I can't decide at all.
I think I'm gonna be a watcher.
I think that would be a really good fit.
I think that'll work for a spider. And talk like this because Soviet Russia spider watches you.
I can't decide between priest and seer. What do you guys think?
Well, I'll explain how both of them work. Not that we're going to go ahead and play Stave 1 tonight, but priest allows you, or the priest ability lets another player, if they have failed a test, re-roll the test and add a die. So it's one of the things that can push a player to 4 die on a test,
right?
Which is really good. So it's basically you're praying and helping them out. A seer manipulates the deck of Eldritch Ways,
which is also really, really cool.
Yes, all of these things are very useful. So a seer gets to, at any point, once per location, look at the top 2 cards of the deck and choose whether to move one or both of them to the bottom of the deck.
So what do you guys think I should be? Seer or the priest?
I'll be honest, seeing the seer being played was kind of cool. I don't think we had a priest last time. That's the thing. I don't know if we go with something we haven't had.
Narwhal feels more seer to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
All right.
I don't know why it just does.
You have a spike in your head. You can like channel
from the gods.
I'm receiving a message
from the heavens.
Yeah.
And I have to go like really cross-eyed.
Yes, like just roll your eyes to the back of the head.
Got it. Thank you.
Have a tea for that.
All right.
All right.
So the next step, wait until everyone has chosen their vocation. Yep, we did that. Then read the following section aloud. Even though we no longer have a god for our cult because they died, we were faithful heroes of our former god, bound together as pact mates. P-A-C-T, not P-A-C-K. So our experience and service to our former god granted each of us a blessing which still lingers on even after our old god's demise. Deal 1 card to each player, then read the following aloud. Since we're not dealing the cards, I'm going to read the following and then jump to the page that I need to be on, and we'll do the cards at that point. Look at the card I've dealt you. It corresponds to a rune, and those runes are all used on various charts throughout the game. In this case, we're going to use the Blessings from the Gods chart to determine what each of our magical gifts are. Each of us can either choose to take the blessing on the card we are dealt, or we can take one that matches our old god's rune, which was tree. So everybody's going to have a choice to start with one of 3 blessings, okay? However, blessings from your god. I'm going to do the tree rune first because you will all have a choice of one of these 2 or the card that you are dealt. So tree, once per location, if it was the black 9, once per location as your action, you can cause all vegetation in your immediate area to burst forth into life, obscuring your passage, tearing down walls, or trapping foes within. This grants an automatic success, no test needed when it helps complete a task.
Let's do that. I like that.
Or red, the wood all around you blesses your every action. You may now count rolls of 3 as a costly success instead of a failure. So you all have the option to take one of those 2 runes or the rune that I am about to deal you. We'll start with May. May gets the Red King, which is stars. Stars of red. Once per session, when an ace or face card is drawn for an Eldritch Beast's attack, you can instead direct the beast to attack the heretic village, removing a token from the heretic pool. All right. So if you took this ability as your blessing, the red stars, the red king, you would be able to, when an Eldritch Beast attack, send it away from your group to attack the heretics instead. Or you can pick one of the true tree blessings.
I want to yeet the attacks.
Yeah, yeet the attacks. All right. Ian, the card I draw for you is the Birth Rune, which is the 2 of Hearts. It's the red Birth Rune, which is you can revive an unconscious sect mate with a touch or by calling their name. They will immediately clear 2 of their damaging conditions, but they will have no memory of the current stave and thus cannot work on community tasks for the village.
Huh.
So basically, you can revive downed people, but they don't remember what's going on. Or you can take one of the 2 tree ones that we talked about, Vegetation Bursting Forth to give you an automatic success, or Blessing of the Entire Wood, which turns a 3 into a costly success instead of a failure. So you pick one of those 3 options. Mab, you ready for yours?
Mm-hmm.
Earth.
All right. 10 of spades. Black dirt. 10 of spades. Black dirt. Once per location, you may sniff out and uncover something useful that was buried, in quotation marks, and forgotten about. Gain 1 auto success on community or stave tasks that involve finding supplies, magical items, lost villagers, or small gods.
I want the second one of the earlier ones you picked.
The tree ones. So the Blessing of the Woods, the red tree, which lets you a roll of 3 now counts as a costly success for you instead of a failure.
That seems like a really good idea.
But only for you.
Only for me?
Yeah, it's only when you roll it. That's still a really
that's
good.
a really good.
That sways the math very much in your favor. Like both of these are good. Being able to find stuff.
Yeah.
An automatic success on finding stuff, that's really good. But having all of your rolls a 3 not be a failure is also
okay.
Really good.
Yeah, let's do that then. I want the not failing one.
All right. And Cubby, the Queen of Hearts, which is Moon. It's a red card, so it's red moon. You can control your shadow independently of your body. It makes no sound and has a minimal physical substance, but otherwise looks like whatever you need it to be.
Yes.
Once per location, this grants an automatic success, no test needed, when it helped completes a task.
Is there any question?
Oh my goodness, I want that ability so bad. That's so cool.
Dang. Cubby's
that fits so perfectly for
I mean, truly, madly.
soul sucking chupacabra.
All right. So,
Turns
yes,
out
that's
the shadows
that is your ability. All right. So everybody has their abilities.
Where do I on the character sheet? Where do I put the card that's my rune?
It's on the very bottom where it says blessings and taints. You will at the end. So at the end of each stave, if you succeed on the stave task, you will get another blessing from the gods. If you tend to fail, you don't get that blessing usually. But
blessings
if you succeed on
closers,
blessings are for closers. If you happen to get devoured by an eldritch beast out in the woods, you do not die, but you come back irrevocably changed, and that's where you get your taint. So it will be a major hindrance, but also a slight cool bonus for getting devoured by the eldritch beasts. There is a point in the game in stave 3 where if you get eaten by an eldritch beast, you just get eaten by an eldritch beast. You're done.
That's fair.
But that's at the end of the game. Before the end of the game, So there's also the possibility, and I always think, oh, I don't want to spoil it for people, but I know if you only play through the game once, you're going to miss some really cool things that I spent a lot of time designing and making, because you're only going to take that one path that you have chosen through the woods and maybe not see the other things. So I absolutely say, hey, people, if you get this game, I'm always a proponent for, you can read any page in the book, right? I'm not one that designs my games with something hidden behind a GM section. I get the value of that. I never obeyed that rule as a kid growing up and learning role-playing games. That's how I learned how to make games and also my vocabulary. But I absolutely urge you, like, if you get this game, play it once so you can be surprised. Don't read all the various paths of the book, but go back and read some of the other stuff like that you missed. There is a possibility. It came up in one of our very recent playtest games, that you get eaten by an eldritch beast before you can find a new woodland god. And when I realized that was possible, I had to write an entire new path that if that happens, it's super rare that could ever happen, but it's possible that it could happen. And so I wrote that path into the game now. It did not exist the last time anybody got sent the PDF, but it is possible that you do not find an eldritch god because you were eaten by, or you don't find a woodland god because you were eaten by an eldritch beast. And your cult now worships the eldritch beasts. And it totally changes the entire rest of the game. But nobody will ever end up with that playthrough. And it's a much harder playthrough because you just got eaten right out of the gate.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, after you've played it a few times, make sure you get eaten by an eldritch beast in the first.
I mean, I feel like you just got to complete the circle there, my guy. Like all the options.
Yeah. So, and once you played it once, go back, and that's hard mode. But it was possible, and I didn't realize it was possible until it almost happened. And I'm like, holy crap! They haven't found a god yet, and they're about to get eaten. And that could be just you lose the game, but that's not that fun. Like, if you just lose the game at the beginning, I know when my family loses a game in Act 1, my kids don't want to play the rest of the game, like, ever again. It's like, no, that game's too hard. We lost it. So
they're like, well, it's been fun.
It's been fun. Yeah.
No, I like that the game punishes you instead.
Yeah. So it definitely changes the game, but it is possible. Yeah. And you come back to your village without a woodland god and basically convince them, we don't need the gods. We found something better. And it's not better, but there you go. All right. Step 4. And we're sure that Gothic Horror is not about to start in exactly 3 minutes. We're pretty sure. We're gonna keep going. We're pretty sure. If they cut it off, folks, we hope
they're not going to be able to, because we're already in the studio.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, if we get frantic messages somewhere, we'll all say goodbye quickly and go. We're almost actually done. Once everyone has pitched their blessing and written it down, read the following aloud. Step 4, items and gear. Now we each need to write down an article of clothing, a weapon, and a personal item you are bringing with you in the blanks provided on your character sheet. We don't need to wear the same things nor carry the same weapons. The personal item can be anything you think will be useful in the woods or just something extra that makes sense for your character. Things that are intrinsically grouped together, such as pen and ink, needle and thread, etc., count as your one personal item. And these are actually on your character sheet under stash. It will have clothes, weapon, and item. So, and these, you can use them obviously in the game. They will give you a bonus die, like if your one of your stash items is helping with what you're doing. You can also break them in the game. When you have to take consequences, you can choose, oh, well, that consequence is my fancy hat just got destroyed and I no longer have the hat to use, so I no longer get that bonus die. So they are important. Like the items, they add to your rolls and they count as hit points if this were a different sort of game. All right. Sir Whitebat is taking a down vest, a rock hammer, and possibly a first aid kit.
Does the pouch? Does the item would a pouch be an item or a satchel?
Sure. Yeah.
Or but okay.
And if I don't write it down, does that mean I don't have it?
So this is not in here, but it needs to be in here. My general rule when I am GMing is you can leave anything blank. Hello, little spider. On your character sheet. May I've got one of your friends.
It's me.
It's you. Oh, it better not be you. I did not squish it. I just moved it. But if it's a black widow crawling on my desk, I gotta squish it. Oh no.
My
he
bad.
crawled on my pants and I accidentally did squish him.
Way
Right.
to go.
I shall avenge my
Sorry.
family.
I grabbed Thar's hammer.
And
Oh,
this is how I become, instead of Batman, Spider-Man's a thing.
Spider-Man's a
Black
thing. So I always say you can leave things blank on your character sheet, but the first time it matters, you have to fill it in
Okay.
in the game. So I feel the same way about stash. You kind of gotta pick your vocation and your breed and your ability before you go out in the woods. But your stash, I think the first time it matters, that's when it's defined. Because before that point in the narrative, right? It's just like when you're reading a book and it says so and so draws their sword. Well, it doesn't tell you at the very first page, oh, they're wearing a sword or they had this in their pocket, right? It only matters when it comes into play in the story. So,
Well, I know what my weapon is.
all right.
It's a straw.
like a metal one, like a metal recycled, like a metal permanent
but it would have to be a bamboo straw because you all don't.
No, it's made of the wood of the dead god.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like a branch that's been hollowed.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a void
Like
god
it's a
straw.
root. Yeah.
Not the void god.
Wow.
Catch me at the void god straw.
All right, Ian, what have you got for your three things?
I have a vest, a walking stick, which is a club,
Shillelagh?
is my weapon, and a monocle.
All right.
Got a little monocle, or maybe just little glasses.
Little
He's got
spectacles.
little spectacles.
Okay, that's
Monocles.
super awkward because I was gonna wear glasses, but now
That's
screw
fine.
that. I just thought it'd be really funny to have glasses resting
like right
horn.
on top of the horn, but can't go any further down. Just
I can get rid of the glasses and have a little bowler cap instead.
that'd
if
be
you
cute.
want. I'll do that.
Well,
if you want.
this is your personal item.
I know.
Okay, you're gonna make it a bowler cap?
Oh, that's gonna be useless. That's right. That's not close.
Not necessarily.
You
I
never
have seen
know.
hats used way more than I ever thought I would in this game.
You never know. I'm gonna just say that.
Plus, if nothing else, it can soak the damage.
Just throw it at him.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave mine blank until it becomes apparent that I need these things.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
do that too. It will either be a monocle or a hat or.
Yeah, but
Whatever.
seriously, the straw, and I am a
That's the
weapon, so
Yeah, I've got a straw, some string, and I figured for my clothing item, I would have like a fun hat because right now I'm very nightmarish and my shadows
Yep.
always like walking around behind me like that, but without the endearing incompetence.
Like an old birthday party hat. Yeah.
There you go.
No, that's weird.
A jester hat.
Oh, okay.
No, that's like, oh, I'm fun. Like, come on. You're trying pretty hard. Like, I don't know, maybe just like
Glittery dealy boppers with stars on them.
again,
people might
no.
think I
Okay,
have
somebody
diddly
was thinking
boppers.
propeller hat or a
Or a
fez.
fez.
Ooh,
Oh,
fez
God, a
is
fez.
got
Fez
some
might
awesome-
do it.
Fez.
'Cause
Yeah,
Fez
fez
Probably
is
with a
fun.
fez.
yeah,
And it's like, oh, maybe it's a Shriner.
Chupa Fez.
Maybe he's a Shriner.
Cheap a fez. Oh my god, not the Shriner.
Okay.
I would like to have a neck scarf.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Remember, you're not asking me for permission.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
that was
It was a statement.
it was
There you go.
informing.
You would like to have a neck scarf. Yes. A fedora with a peacock feather for Sir Whitebat. All right, May, what you got for your stash?
Okay, so I'm thinking since we don't have steel, if Cubby can't have a steel straw.
Again, I'm not the GM. I was just pointing out y'all had gone tree fort sheep. I don't care what you do.
Sometimes metal falls from the sky, so if it's a simple object.
Okay, in that case, I am going to go with the leather gloves as my clothing, a dagger as my weapon, because why not? And then a besom as my item.
Can the dagger be permanently attached to your butt like it's a stinger?
So I'm a hornet now. That's what you're telling. No, because that's where my spinneret is.
Oh, right.
I gotta get all the spider
spiders.
Web up.
Spiders don't have butt stingers. Spiders have teeth stingers.
Right.
Yes, fangs.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Also known as face stingers.
I mean, think about it. I can wrap some spider around it and just freaking launch that sucker.
You could
like
that dagger.
Yes.
Oh, that's
like
pretty sweet.
That's almost as cool as face daggers.
Right.
That's almost as cool as a fez.
Wait until everyone has chosen their items, then read the following section aloud. Step 5, finishing touches. Of course, every cultist character needs a name. This can be a common name, such as James, Anna, or Dorothy, or it can be a nickname that fits their animal personality, such as Shadow, Fang, or Toad Muncher. You may also want to consider the pronouns your character uses. I don't know who wrote this, which can also be different from your own. Any other details that you wish to note are entirely up to you, but you might want to think about your character's physical features and personalities. And that's the end of character creation. There might still be blanks on your character sheet, but that's okay. Everything else will be established as we play. Now let's take a moment to go around the table and have everyone introduce themselves to the group. At the very least, we should all know each other's name, animal breed, affinity, and vocation, which we've kind of already said all that for the audience at their computers, but it's a good idea to recap everybody as a complete character once they have their names. I need to mark Toad Muncher. That needs to change. That was a placeholder.
That's pretty funny though.
Really though? No, Toad Muncher is perfectly acceptable.
Leave it. Oh no.
Leave it.
Leave it.
We'll see. We'll see.
That means no. Oh my God. I know. I speak parent. We'll see means
that
no.
means negative.
That means it's going to come down to the editor. Like Keith will be the one that says whether that stays or goes.
Keith's gonna be like, absolutely not.
Keith never gets this McDonald's.
Where's my chicken nuggies?
Cheeky nugs. Nuggy nugs.
All right, so Keith, if you're watching, everybody wants you to leave Toad Muncher in.
Yeah, and you should get us McDonald's.
And you should get us McDonald's.
I want a 10-piece nuggie.
They're not doing. I was gonna say they have the Halloween buckets, but I bet they don't have the Halloween buckets.
Oh, my kids got them. My kids got them right before Halloween. The Happy Meal things. That's what they used for trick or treating.
There you go. Just like back in the day.
That part.
Although I feel like they were bigger back in the day. Maybe
they were, and they had better lids.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not? We were just smaller.
Well, see, that's the other thing, because I remember trick or treating with that. But my kids were going to go trick or treating with that one year, and I'm like, you can fit 3 pieces of candy in there. You need a pillowcase or at least a plastic pumpkin bucket.
I don't know. My kids were a little extortionist, so they came back with buckets full. So I don't know what you talking about.
There you go. The other mom we were trick or treating with, we have for the last 2 years. We've gone trick or treating with my kids' best friends who live 2 neighborhoods over. She brings an extra pillowcase so they can dump stuff in if their buckets get too heavy. We've never needed it.
That's called hustling.
Right. We've never needed it because they walk so slow that it's like, all right, trick or treat's over. It was so cold last night that they only made it about an hour.
If they walked faster, they wouldn't feel so cold.
Right. Yeah. And of course it's we don't need to wear coats. That'll mess up our costumes. And no, you don't understand. Your costume is great. You are not leaving this house without a coat on. So it's your choice. You go trick-or-treating and wearing a coat, or you stay at home and pass out candy in your cool costume.
It's called
Those are
layers.
the two options.
You got to layer.
And it was layers. And oh yeah, after 15 minutes in, nobody said, "Hey, thank you for making me wear a coat," but everybody said, "Hey, do you have any hand warmers?" And we did. We had hot hands. But all right, does everybody have a name?
Yes.
Rupert.
Checking over there. All right. Okay. I've lost my page. Okay. So we're going to go around starting with May. And May, do you have a name?
Yeah, I'm Natasha.
Natasha. All right. So introduce your character for us, May.
I'm not even gonna try the accent because I've been doing English accent for the past 6 weeks. So, so I'm Natasha. The pronouns are that and which with a B. I'm a Black Widow spider who has strong web spinning. So think like vibranium web. And I'm a watcher because I can scout up trees and be super sneaky. And of course I have leather gloves, a dagger, and a besom. And my blessing is I can yeet attacks to the heretic village.
All right. And Ian.
I am playing Rupert. He is a badger who has a animal ability with digging. He likes to dig holes all over the place. There are just holes everywhere. He wears a vest and works with a walking stick, and he has the blessing of birth, which allows him to bring one person back to life if they've been messed up by the bad guys. He's also an alchemist and is constantly making tea and offering people tea for whatever ails them or doesn't.
I love good tea. I do love good tea.
It's always the best tea.
It's always tea time.
Always tea time.
All right. And Mab.
My name is Clara Facehorn. I'm a narwhal. I'm a seer. I see things like the sea. I got a scarf. Anything else? I also know like the red tree rune.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What does the red tree rune do?
Oh yeah, that's I'm better at things.
Yes. You're not as sucky.
Yeah, I don't suck.
That's
like that guy.
That's Cubby's job.
And around to Cubby.
Whoa, hey dudes! My name is Barabbas, the Chupacabras. As you probably know me from around town, I suck sins. So if you all get bit by the heresy when you're out, don't worry, brah. On the DL, I got you. Don't worry at all. And often found with my string. Yeah.
Oh.
And my weapon, this straw. And because every part of my body is designed to destroy, I make bad first impressions. So, whoa, check out my fez. Puts you at ease, doesn't it? Whoa, yeah. It's shut up and chill, Chupacabras.
If we play this game, it's going to be the most ignorant thing I've done in a long time.
Well, Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask Cubby if your character's pronouns were him and Bo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I'm he, him, but I don't really care that much. Call me whatever. I'm
okay,
cool,
Johnny Bravo.
Whatever.
There you go.
You could he, they, she, what, just hey, I'm glad to be involved.
So Sir Whitebite had a question: would a backpack be clothing or personal item? Honestly, whichever one you want. I would, if I were playing, I would probably take that as a personal item. But I mean, if you're just wearing a backpack and not much else, that's your clothing, isn't it? So it all depends on how you want to go.
I'm just wearing a scarf.
Just a scarf.
That's just a scarf, but it's
and
a
a horn
thing. It's like sometimes it's like a hood. Sometimes it's like a dress, and sometimes it could be a skirt.
Oh my god, is it one of those wonder scarves? Like it's the
scarf.
loop thing. You can wear it as a shirt. You can wear it as like those things are crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And there's one more thing in the prologue that I just want to touch on. We're obviously not going to use it tonight. The prologue ends with after you've created safety tools, after you've created the world and your characters, a discussion should be had about safety tools your groups want to use, because each group is different and there are so many good safety tools out there to use. We can't provide a script for this discussion. Instead, we suggest you check out the following things: Lines and Veils by Ron Edwards, the X card by John Stravopoulos, RPG safety cards created by Lucilia Elizabeth Scarlett, the RPG consent list created by Peter Jung, and Consent in Gaming is available on the Monty Cook Gaming website. And I'll be honest, folks, for the longest time, even as a role player, as a game player, all the way back to the 80s, safety tools were and there's something that was originally associated with indie games. I didn't think that much about them because I'm like, I'm playing with my group. We know each other. We know what our triggers are, and we can respect each other. And then we had this election that polarized the country, and oh wow, our group could have used safety tools. So just to kind of illustrate this, I always use them at conventions now, especially because I mostly run horror games. But the one I use at convention is called the X card. You just place a card with an X on the table, and if anybody at the table is uncomfortable with what's happening, they can tap the X card, point to it, say X card, whatever, and the entire group knows stop, back up, go in a different direction, right? It makes for a much, I mean, they're called safety tools. It makes for a safer game. The point of playing a game is for everybody at the table to have fun, and especially at their convention game, nobody's there for you to give them unasked for therapy. So X card is a great thing. I use it at conventions. I actually used it just to introduce my kids to it at my home table playtesting this game. And because this is a player-driven game, right, everybody gets a chance to narrate something or a lot of somethings as the game goes on. I narrated giant spiders. Like there was a thing with giant spiders, and my wife reached over and touched the X card, and she said, "I actually don't want spiders in this game. Can we go with something else?" And I was like, "Yeah, we want to make it giant snakes." And everybody's like, "Yeah, I'll make it giant snakes," and that's okay. I know my wife doesn't like spiders, but it never crossed my mind to not put giant spiders in a game because that's a staple of role-playing games, right? Giant spiders, all the way back to Tolkien. And so having the X card on the table, even at my home game, was a very useful thing. My wife was able to just say, it opened the communication there to say, hey, let's not do this. And then everybody can have fun. My personal favorite now is the one that you can get on Monty Cook's website, the Consent in Gaming form. It is in depth. All right. And it goes through lots of things that could be triggers for people, but also things that people want to see in their game. And it's a one page and you mark in. And the idea here, I believe, is that everybody does it on their own, like marks in different things and then passes it to the GM. So the GM can look and say, oh, okay, well, one player has a problem with giant spiders, so I need to make sure not to put giant spiders in my game. Everybody wants some action scenes where they get to fight a big bad. Okay, we got to make sure that's in there. Half the group wants romance and half the group doesn't want romance. So if we're going to have a romantic NPC, these are the players that I can focus that to. Instead of me personally, I hate romance in games. If somebody targets me with a romantic NPC, just like, no.
Awkward.
No, don't want to do it. Sorry. It's not my thing.
So I'm assuming you don't like Astarion from, never mind.
So I don't think it's a spoiler to say he's a vampire, since the very first shot of him, you see his dang teeth. And I was like, this guy is a vampire. Why would we let him in our party? Yes. But clearly the game wants me to, so we'll put him in here. No. I did let him bite me, but I think that he's not my favorite character out of all of them. Honestly, I'm kind of annoyed by all of the NPCs in Baldur's Gate 3. If we're being totally honest, like I don't get how people ship any of them. I mean, Gale.
We don't judge here. We don't judge here.
We don't. I don't care how you play the games. Gale clearly, but this was before they patched him out. He was very romantically aggressive. Whatever. That's just me. Safety tools. I do recommend everybody give them a try. Use them in your games. There's lots of things out there on them, and there will be a section in the book talking about safety tools. Cool. So, we were going to be done by 9:00 because of Gothic Horror. We went a little bit over, but thankfully Gothic Horror is not going to play tonight. I promised everybody over on the other side of the chat that we would definitely be done by 9:30. So I think at this point, one, thank you all for going through with us and doing character creation, world creation. If anybody has any questions out there, either on the screen right now, if any of y'all have any questions you want me to answer about the game, or if anybody out in the chat has questions they want to ask about this game, now is your chance to have a direct line to me to ask any questions about this game, our Woodland Gods, on Kickstarter right now. 77% funded. We have jumped. I can't tell you how much we've jumped doing this stream.
So when I loaded it earlier, it was 6,800, and okay, it just rolled over. So yeah, and now it's 7,052.
So thank you anybody from this stream tonight that was watching us and backed the Kickstarter. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. So one thing that I will say in the book, it says that character creation and world creation will take you about 30 minutes. And that is true. Okay. This grew. One, we intentionally stretched it longer because we knew we had more time to fill. But two, this is maybe not the group that
would play with. I don't.
Typical.
I could see be done in 20
everyone
minutes.
Here was like choosing to make it longer.
Right.
Some of us,
we
that's
wanted
just
to
what happened.
You. Yes, it was great. We wanted to entertain you tonight. So thank you for watching. We hope you were entertained. But I want people to know character and world creation will not take an hour and a half at your table unless you invite Mab. And then all bets are off. But because Mab is going to go get the costumes that match and
actually that's fair. That's
cook the food that goes with the character, and Ian's going to make tea. Hang on, I've got excellent tea, and
I've got a wall of tea out there.
I have my cabinet of tea.
Look, if you invite us over to play a cozy cultist game, you're going to end up with a cozy cult.
You're going to end up with cozy cult. Yes, exactly. And if you haven't backed the Kickstarter yet, actually one of our taglines on like day one was join our cult, we have cookies. And lots of people were laughing at that. And I realized I actually have to post a cookie recipe. So like update number 2 is my favorite cookie recipe for giant molasses cookies. And which I thought was a very more modern recipe. I'm taking it from a modern cookbook that came out in 1999. So it's, yes. When I went and read the recipe and it's like, you need 1.5 cups of lard. I'm like, wait a second. When was this made? So butter will work just fine. All right. Is this game going to be played? I want to watch this game played with these characters. We would have to talk after this and see if we can work out a time to play this game. I think it would be fun to play this game with his characters now that we've gone through. Part of that's going to depend on Nat 21 schedule. Part of that's going to depend on everyone else's schedule. We will try to make it happen, but I can't promise anything. This is not my Twitch channel. I'm just a guest here, and there's lots of other stuff that happens. So
but I have the ways of making.
Yeah, so we'll see. When I asked people to be in this game, it was for a one-night thing to showcase creating this. So I don't want Cubby or May or Ian to feel obligated to come back. they might have decided after this, oh man, I'm gonna go cancel my Kickstarter pledge or whatever. I'm not.
Oh, you're fine.
No, I get it. I shouldn't be obligated to come back. You can just run the game without me.
No, not without the chupacabra.
No, it's. I mean, so yes.
The name is gonna be renamed Sucker.
Sucker.
Things that suck.
Things that suck.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know about that. All right. So, and do we have any other questions?
Just joy for your cookie recipe.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Those actually make. Those are some of my favorite cookies to make. There are cookies out there that I like better that I won't make. I really like the kitchen sink cookies from Panera, but I'm not going to spend the time throwing all that crap in my own cookies in my kitchen. I would not when I can go buy them from Panera. So, but the giant molasses cookies are really, really good cookies. And I have to go to a convention this weekend, but when I get back, I am going to look for a pagan cookie recipe, which feels a little more culty.
Are you on our Discord? Because with the Creating with the Crew, one of the things that some of the people occasionally share on the Crafting with the Crew channel is recipes and things that they've made.
Oh, I stop in and watch Crafting with the Crew.
Yeah, I saw you today. I will say that Sir David Percival and Sally AE have shared some really good recipes that they've made recently.
All right, I am on the Discord, so I will poke over there, and if I find this, it's in a folder somewhere because I made these for I made this for one of the cross-quarter days and passed them out at the theater I was working at the time, and everybody loved them. But they have some interesting ingredients in them that you would not normally think go in cookies. Not like the FDA would shut you down for putting these things in cookies, but spices and flavors that you're like, oh, I wouldn't think that would go in a cookie, and they taste amazing. So if I can find them, no guarantee because, yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later.
But for now, we got to wrap it up.
Yep. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.
Any other questions, reach out to Robert Turk on Facebook, Kickstarter, Discord, any of those places. And thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. We really, really appreciate you going with us as we learn all about the wonderful things. And Cubby, I don't know, why is everyone pointing at Cubby?
Robert.
Yeah. All right. So thank you guys so much. And don't forget to tune in for the rest of the week. We always have episodes, always new things. And I will, except for not doing Nat 21 Adventures on Tuesdays because we want you to go vote.
Go vote.
Go vote.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Have a good night, y'all. Bye.